warriors. Living and surviving are two different things.
Hey, my life warriors. Okay, here's what's happening. I know usually I do an intro. You see me and my guests side by side. What happened was Dr. Bertrand got on the line and we just started talking. So I kind of sort of just hit the record button as we were mid-conversation because I didn't want to interrupt the flow that was happening, but you are in for a treat. I am talking to Dr. Marc Bertrand from the Bertrand Education Group. We met in 2014 when he was receiving his Young, Gifted, and Black Entrepreneurial Award from Carl Gray, one of my past guests that you've also seen on the show. Big up to you, Carl. So anyway, you're going to enter right now into me answering his question, which is so unlike my typical format. But he was asking me about Dear Life Warriors, this particular show, and where the direction I was taking and why did I, decide to start such a show. So you're entering me answering that question. So here we go. For me, it's like, how can I bring information to the community from all walks of life? Because I think for us as minorities, African Americans, I'm from Brooklyn, Brownsville. There's just certain things we're not exposed to.
That's right.
At all.
Oh my God.
So it's just from my own personal experience. I'm like, wow, how did I get here? Right? When I think about it, I'm like really 1 out of 10.
Right.
That from my neighborhood that I could say have made it, right? And when I say make it, I mean, I'm able to, number one, move out of the neighborhood. That's the first thing. Number two is I was able to hold down a career for many years and climb that corporate ladder. Mm-hmm. I didn't just see a job as, I need to get a paycheck. It was, I was able to build a career and excel, where for us coming from, I'm Jamaican, but for me watching my mom do what she did for a living, cleaning toilets, cleaning people's houses, taking care of people from that standpoint, for her, that was it.
Right.
She made it on her level. I came from Jamaica. I did a life. Here you go. She handed me off into the world.
Yes.
And now it's me saying, okay, but there gotta be more.
Right.
There gotta be more, right? So it's not like they brought the information to me. Yes. I felt like I had to go search, and with the blessings of God, he was able to guide and lead me through my life's journey, my career, my everything, helped me climb the corporate ladder where I was able to learn certain things, finally getting a seat at the C-suite table, and then realizing this is not
enough. Preach. I'm listening. Wow.
No, I'm just like, this is just not enough for me. Yes. So it's like, what's next?
Right.
And when I sat and thought about my life and saying to myself, this is where I see myself, and I don't think any seat at any C-suite is going to get me this life that I envision for myself. And at the same time, I landed in human resources. I was not taught about different careers.
Okay.
I was not taught about different, you hear, be a nurse, be a doctor, be a lawyer. You thought, you got to be one of those to be successful.
Right.
Those are the people with the money.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do, long story short, I took you around the long route.
No, please.
What I said to myself was, how about I educate, and show people of color doing big things in the world that's making a stamp wherever you are, whether it's in a specific industry, introducing people to different careers. Hey, you could do this. Have you ever heard about starting your own business? You can start your own business in so many different areas. Here is how you get through that process of that, because it's all about teaching them as well. Nothing happens overnight.
Of course.
You got now I'm introducing you to a Dr. Marc who is running his own business. He's out there doing leadership coaching. Well, what is that? People don't know these things exist, especially minority young adults coming up that feel like if I don't go to college, I'll never mount to anything, or
Right.
I just only
Right.
jobs available to me is these retail. I got to go sell something, or clean stock or inventory.
Right.
No, there's so many other things
Absolutely.
that we don't know about. So I'm trying to bring people from all walks of life,
Yes. Yes.
showcase us in a positive light,
Right.
that
Right.
there are amazing people of color
Right.
that's out there being
Mhm.
great and doing great things
Yes.
and making it.
Yes. And you know what, Shar, you give me the perfect segue, because one individual that you remind me of, and I don't know if this was a spin-off or collaborative thought in your earlier days, was Carl Gray. Here's a man who was often trying to highlight
Yes.
what people of color from all walks of life, for lack of a better word, have accomplished, what they're trying to do, what they have done, and how it can be mutually beneficial. And I always go back to when a mutual friend of ours had nominated me for one of Carl's community awards. Let me tell you this. That clip has had so many views on YouTube.
Wow.
And that was part of the catalyst. Real talk to what you just said about there's more to life than you get to that C-suite and what else can I do? Similar to yourself, I walked away from a very unique opportunity. Was in a very established, comfortable career,
Right.
had my pension. Yep, that's the word, comfortable, had my pension. You know the story.
I know it.
And you said it best. And I think for people of color at times, when we come from the environments that we come from, and I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn, public housing, Cypress Hills Project. A lot of you don't know this about.
I know. Tell us, please. That's what I want to know. Like you can't.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'll go in. I'll go in. People often misread me and they think, oh, he's a silver spoon, or maybe he's one of them.
Yes.
Unless you worked out with me in the gym or you're in my meet, you said, no, you've got it wrong. That's not the Mark you think. You don't be fooled by all the accolades.
Right.
And I love the element of surprise, because similar to yourself, I'm never going to be the flashy type on social media. Oh, look how I'm living. Look what I'm doing. I'm very discreet.
Yeah.
But the key thing that you said, Shar, that resonates with me is the spiritual orientation. From the time I was living in the urban community that I was in, which I always pray God, my mother, getting us out there, I always went to church. Yes. She said, come rain, snow, sleet, you're going right to St. Fortunatus Church, right up there on Linden Boulevard and Pine Street. Right down the road from the projects. Because she said, you have to be mindful. There's going to be a way out, but you have to have hope. You have to have a belief. And, some of us will look at our parents like, oh, God, do I really want to hear this now? You don't want to be bothered with it.
Your whole life, you say that.
That's exactly
and then I don't know if you did what I did. The minute you get to an age where you don't have to go anymore, you stop going.
Well, it happened to me when I got to college, right? Because I was in the area, right?
And then you get to another age where you start going again.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But I'm sure you would see, we never stop praying. We never stop giving thanks. And I tell people that. Go ahead, please.
It's the seed that was planted.
Yes, that's exactly right. And it never leaves you. And I share that with our own daughter. I always and I watch her pray, where she tries to say her little prayer and giving thanks. We have a roof over our head and things of that nature, because I take that very seriously, considering my origin, considering I've been blessed in so many ways, but I've also been confronted with so much adversity. But had it not been for my spiritual orientation, Marc Bertrand is not sitting here before you on September 3rd, 2021. So I'm mindful to that. That's not lip service, Shaw. And I tell people that. Some people, you always have to be mindful when you have an exchange with folks, what the agenda may be.
Right.
What's this really all about? You sit back. You look at them from afar. But I'm always looking at your character.
Yeah.
Character says a lot about who people are.
And then you know what? I'm glad you said character.
Please.
I hate to cut you because...
No, please.
I'm resonating.
We're feeding off each other right here.
Yeah, so when you say character, and I always say I'm searching for souls.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, no, I don't want to see your exterior. Like, who are you really?
That's exactly
Who are you really?
That's exactly right.
Down to it,
That's
where are
right.
you going to be down the road? What decisions are you going to make in life with your back up against the wall?
Right.
And
That's exactly right.
because it has to come from a place from within.
Yes. And it has to be organic.
Yes.
It has to be organic. It cannot be solicited. It cannot be coerced. It cannot be influenced. It has to be within. And it's funny you mentioned that. I always look at, it's a small sample. I'm not saying it's the entirety of everything about what a person represents.
Yes.
Even if I connect or someone reaches out to me on LinkedIn, I always look, are they just connected to be connecting for the sake of, oh, this is what we do or what have you? Or do they take the time legitimately? Because I'm a people person. I'm about the human element. I'm about, let's connect for obvious reasons, but more so, given the society that we're in more now than ever, let's really get to know, what are we about? Are our values aligned? Can we agree to disagree, things of that nature? And sometimes I'll get these out of left field invitations, and you try to include people of areas of substance, of thought-provoking exchanges, so they can be a part of that ecosystem, given what's taking place. But you quickly see they're veering in a different direction. Shar, I kid you not, I discreetly remove myself because I have to think about my namesake. I have to think about my energy. I'm not in my 20s or 30s anymore. And I have to think about what I'm representing. And people, not that I'm concerned about what people are watching, but I'm more concerned about who I am. Like you said, what am I on the inside? Yes. Do we have an alignment? Even if we can disagree, we can still have an alignment, even if we disagree.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's, and especially my life warriors, I call my audience because that's what we are. We're out in life and once you're living, life takes work. So that's what I talk about, alignment, especially for my business owners and my entrepreneurs and everyone just starting out. The key is, because I know we run out the gate and we're like, we just need to get this check. Not everyone is meant to be a client.
Exactly.
You cannot accept every assignment given because of a paycheck. And I've had to learn that the hard way.
Me too.
Yes. When I first started, it was like, okay, I need to get paid. You left that comfortable salary, and it's like, all right, I got to accept this client, although your gut and that intuition is a big deal. Especially when you're in alignment with God, you have a discernment, use it. When he sends you that little in your gut, in your spirit, listen to it. You might not understand it, but it's going to come back to bite you in the long run. And I did that in the beginning when I started my business. I was like, okay, I'm taking clients. And then the minute I was like, what did I sign up for? And then it ended badly. The relationship ended badly. So I had to take that ding in the beginning and learn from that. The key is to learn from that. Because I was like, if you're not constantly questioning yourself, you will never evolve.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I think that supports the overarching theme of what you're saying in terms of leadership coaching. I've shared that, and maybe you could relate to this. As we've evolved, we may not have the same friends anymore for various reasons.
Right.
Some people, they may still stay where they are, and you're evolving. And for some, that could be a hard pill to swallow. And that goes back to that alignment. Now, I've tried to bring friends, colleagues along, but to your point, like taking on a new client, you can't help and bring everyone aboard if they do not see it for themselves. And it breaks my heart, Char.
It breaks your heart.
It breaks my heart, Char. Let me tell you, because the fact when as you related and you articulated, given our origin, it's only right. We want to see thy neighbor, thy friend, thy loved one, whatever the case may be. If I'm making it, I want you on the team as well. Let's make it collectively. But not everyone understands that.
No.
They do not understand that, unfortunately. And it can be at your detriment if you're not careful to separate it, to your point.
Right, exactly. My little he keeps jumping on my
Oh,
lap.
please let him be a part of the interview. It's all good.
So sorry. My grandson, everyone, he keeps jumping on this is the first time he's made an appearance in an interview.
It's all good. It's all good.
And my daughter was like, why would you schedule an interview the day I'm not here? I'm like,
it happens. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
So, I think that's why I wanted to talk to you first and foremost, because I know that you just watching you work as well. I've seen your LinkedIn. We're connected on LinkedIn. Prior to that, we've connected from Carl's Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneur Award, which you got your award. What year was that?
That was 2014.
Oh, wow.
And that's the same year I left my employer.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I resigned unsolicited. They were stunned. And I had received the award that February. I left that April. Now, you talk about a guy who walks the walk. That was me.
Experience your purpose-driven push. Listen, I talk about that in another interview where...
Shar, let me tell you, it was at the point where, as I said to myself, I know my strengths. I'm a very confident person. Yeah. I'm not afraid of adversity. In fact, I embrace it because that really builds character. Yeah. I always tell people, I don't want you to see me on my best day. I want you to see Marc Bertrand on his worst day.
Right.
Because that's when you really see what I represent, what I can truly offer you at optimal and a high standard level. And that was my mindset. And I remember my employer tried to talk me out of not leaving. Like you shouldn't want to do this. Oh, no, because it was the relationship was solid because I had 3 years before that I had earned my doctorate, and they were positioning me for much more growth, C-suite, you name it. Right. I had turned around portfolio schools, had a $60 million operational budget. And had been recognized by the state commissioner. Wow. We were branching out to public-private partnerships. But I also had a very innovative mind. Yeah. I didn't want to have to deal with any of the possible red tape that could come along with what I was trying to accomplish. Right. Shar, I have to tell you, at first, most people were saying to me, Marc, you are out of your mind. And let me tell you, it was a cushy position. And to be a person of color, most of us aren't doing it. No, they're not doing what Shar did. They're not doing what Marc did. No. But I did. And had I not done that, I wouldn't have been able to establish and create what I've now created within my own brand. And when I tell you the pride, the joy and love, when you're doing something right, when most sectors, people are reaching out to you because they want to be a part of your ecosystem. Yeah. And most of them, to be transparent, do not look like me. They do not look like me, but they entrust me. They've monitored my body of work over time to make the determination, okay, can we broach this individual? And I will never forget to give you an example. A high-profile, prominent, powerhouse financial institution, global firm, reached out to me. And their headquarters is on Park Avenue, 200 Park Avenue. I walked into that room, and first of all, from the onset, their presentation, first-class professional, I wasn't surprised by that. They knew who I was. Obviously, they had already done their homework and so forth. But when I walked in, given the fact that we're in a climate of D.E.I, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that was so lacking in there. So when you walk into a room, when it's all about, and you know this, the bottom line, as well as show me the results, because this is what we're all about. You already have to know that without trying to ask them, why am I here? Right. So of course, now you walk into this room, this long rectangular table, all the suits, CEOs, COOs, so forth. They just had their Q3 earnings call. They beat record profits and so forth. You've got to be on it quickly to understand your audience, understand the content, be able to speak it to them at their level to get that engine in that car running fast, or you can lose all credibility. You can lose all credibility. Wow. Fortunately for me, because of my background, and this is where I tell people that I've coached in that part of my component of work, I said, you have to have a sense of awareness of a little bit of everything. You don't have to be a guru. You do not have to be a guru.
Yes.
But have some sense of awareness of what's going on, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in manufacturing, agriculture, politics, whatever the case may be. Because sure, you know, the clients you're going to come across, they may be diverse, they may be leaning in one particular industry, and you have to be able to speak to that, but demonstrate to them, well, this is why you want to retain my services and not go anyplace else. Needless to say, I had them laughing within the first couple of minutes because the first thing I referenced was, okay, I'm not going to get on my phone and call the affirmative action EOE office right now because I see something is missing. So they all started laughing, but I had to quickly do that to bring down the temperature, to let them know it's okay.
It's okay.
We got this. We're going to get through this.
So you left corporate America. What was your last job in corporate America?
It was a nonprofit philanthropy in education and workforce development, adult workforce development.
So did you start to cultivate your business while you were there?
Excellent question. Excellent question. It started out. It started out as a small thought when I was doing my dissertation research.
You hear that? Like a small thought.
And I got to tell you, Shar, it was not until I was abroad, because my mentor, she's from South Korea. She was the one that said, you know what? This particular study was focused around over 5,000 individual minds, looking at how they function if they have the same equitable access to resources, that they could be successful, if not more, compared to their counterparts. And I said, wow, I have the data. We applied that data to my employer, where we were able to turn around schools. I said, if I could somehow leverage this data now to create my own platform and build upon that and show that this is not just limited to education, but leadership innovation is applicable to all sectors, because you still have to deal with a client-focused approach. You still have to work with personnel, whether it's support, middle management, senior management, your consumer base, boards. If you're in healthcare, you have to deal with patients, doctors. You see where the dots all connected?
Yes, everything connects.
That's exactly right. And that's why I was able to leverage that kind of data and research to my client base, and showing them how it was applicable to them. I got to tell you, Shar, at first, with the exception of my mentor, because she was with me for years when I was getting my PhD and so forth, and she was tough. As a matter of fact, I acknowledged her. She's on my LinkedIn profile featured because of the love that she and I have. Because, those cultures are very clannish.
Yes.
And I had exceeded her expectations. And I told her, I remember when I called her, I said, I'm going to be leaving. She said, you're leaving your employer? She was shocked. And she said, Mark, based on this data, I would not be surprised if you're able to be very successful, because we did the work.
Right.
I never looked back. I never looked back. So now I've been using that same leadership design, and it's called the Total Quality Management Operational System, that's based on multiple elements geared towards improving organizational and individual development. That's what my doctorate is in. So it looks at how it's not just about the bottom line, but it's about human capital, social capital. If you do those two things right, it's going to equate and deliver considerable economic capital, return on investment.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
They don't. And oh my goodness, because it's all about, at the end of the day, human capital, the human piece of it is what I think they forget.
That's right.
That at the end of the day, you still have to be able to deal with people, and the people within your organization, invest in them a little bit, because it is not about the bottom line. They're the ones producing the bottom line. So why not go to the root and the core of where your organization begins? It begins.
It's funny you mentioned that. I received a text about a week and a half ago from a former client, a woman, she's an executive. She texts me and she just randomly, because of everything that's happened with COVID, the Delta variant, she said, Mark, I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing and to thank you because I'm still incorporating the skill set that you taught me. And she works for a high profile government entity. And I'm reading it and I keep all this data. Why, Shar? Because this is what the kind of data I can demonstrate. When you can get random data like this to show the work that you've done, regardless if they're Black, white, Republican, Democrat, independent, religious, whatever it may be. I'm about nonpartisan impact. If you want impactful change, I will tell anyone, look no further, because I can give you the data that we've compiled to justify my disposition. Yeah. And when I presented it as such, and you can reach out to people who can speak to that, who are either CEOs, senior VPs, managers, educators, it runs the gamut. It tells you the type of individual I am, but more so about my character. Because what you said, it's about investing in the people. Yeah. You invest in the people strategically, and you provide them with the skill sets and the belief that they can achieve. They will pull out so much for you.
The belief.
The belief. It's huge. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
I swear to you, oh my God, Mark, listen, I swear
you don't understand.
I understand. Listen, because no, I'm so glad you said the belief, because I feel like I get deer in headlights sometimes.
Oh, I know. I get it too.
I go into organizations, and because the core of what my soft skills training that I do, the core of what I do, it starts with emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And I'm like, no matter what I do, I incorporate that. It is it is the foundation.
Critical.
It's critical. It's if you don't give your employees and the professionals working for you that self-awareness, the key to becoming self-aware.
That's right.
They will never be able to self-manage.
That's exactly right. And what happens if you're not around? Who's going to be the next person up who feels equipped and that they have the bandwidth that they can? Because you didn't provide them with that. You didn't provide them with that.
So you box. So many times I tell leaders and managers, because I think everyone in the organization is a leader.
Of course,
is a leader. Because you run your role, your department, your section, your division like an entrepreneur. Go ahead and lead that. It's yours to lead. If you are not if you don't manage anyone, lead your role. It is yours to lead, right? So my big thing is, I'm like, do not box your employees in a corner. Do not make them feel like they always need you to make a decision or nothing. Don't let them second guess themselves. Give them confidence.
That's exactly
right. Give them confidence. If you give them the confidence, you'll give them the belief system, because everything starts here. It's their own limiting belief that stops them from being successful. Period.
You articulated perfectly. And let me tell you, we have to continue these dialogues. And this time frame is not enough because we're just scratching the surface. But this is something I want to add to what you just said. The other day, I took my little toddler to Taekwondo. And as she's running and they're doing the competition, she fell as she was running. The poor thing looked up at me. I said, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Got back up, went and finished. When she came for the water break, she said, Daddy, you saw I fell, but I got back up. I said, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I believed in you. I said, and you finished, you closed the deal, baby. You're a champion. You're a leader. And her other parents were like, oh my God, what is this guy?
Oh my God, it's not like this epiphany.
But to your point, and that's how I genuinely felt. That's how I genuinely felt. Like I was feeding off of her, even though she was feeding off of me. But I'm like, this is my baby. Like she knew she's got my blood. Like you're the future here. Close the deal.
And she looked back for a reason. She looked back at you for a reason, and you didn't miss that moment.
And you can't replicate that. Those are priceless moments, to your point, with leadership and the staff. If you do not empower them to let them know it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay if you fall, but you can still get back up, as I believe in. That's how you learn. It's a teachable moment. It's an adversity moment that's going to build your character and resiliency over time. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand.
Oh my goodness. And listen, I just had a aha moment while you were telling me about your daughter. I just realized why we are probably so successful doing what we're doing as coaches, because we know the power of saying we believe in you.
That's right.
I just realized that, because oftentimes people come out and say, wow, you've changed my life. And I'm like, I did.
Right.
I didn't. Right. What did I do? Like, I didn't do anything. No, I just realized it goes right back to the Bible. And I say it, when two or more touch and agree on something. I'm just saying, I just tell my clients, I believe in you. That's it. That's all I do. You got this. What you just did for your daughter is what we do every day.
What we do every day. But you'd be surprised, Shar. A lot of people, to your point, are not doing that in leadership capacities.
No, they're not.
And that's what does not show up in the data and the balance sheets. Those intangibles for the staff of feeling the sense of value, a sense of worth that I can, I will, and so forth. And that's what part of my practice is about. I don't do it for lip service. In fact, I don't need the pat on the back or whatever, but to your point, this is what we do. This is who Shar and Marc are.
Yes.
This is how we facilitate, because we have that belief system in the people that we're working with. And the better off they are, everyone wins.
Yes.
Everyone wins as a result of. But if that's not implemented, you're always going to have stagnancy. You're going to have limited growth.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when that individual walks away now, how does he or she feel about oneself?
Yeah.
Now, what are they feeling? And I never want that. And I'll give you an example. It's amazing. I'm nearly 10 years removed from my former employers. Staff still reaches out to me. So you know what I'm talking. I'm preaching to the choir.
But you're shocked. So I'm in HR. So it's a little different for me, because I was their HR executive, right?
Right.
Which HR, as you know, an organization never really liked. They don't.
I know.
They don't really like
You didn't have an easy career in that role.
Let me say that.
I know it very well.
The weight was heavy.
Right.
But I'm so surprised that they actually still, it's when you're gone, that's when I really realized, wow, I did make a difference.
You did.
They still reach out to me to this day and ask questions and want, advice or feedback or help or whatever it is, which I love, because it says a lot that at the time while I was in the position, I'm thinking I'm not, not doing so great by my employees, which has been always my intention, like to be great. You don't know how good you are until you're gone.
Yes. And I think
that says a lot.
Your humility and your character, and because your standards are so high, you didn't think twice about it. But for them, knowing what role you were in, the shoes that you had to fill, in the capacity, it was not easy.
Yes.
Your impact is even more than just a person who was coming out of that role. So of course, they want to maintain that connection because of your character, Shar. That's really telling. Character, it goes back to that. People lack that character, and being in an HR capacity, I know a lot of executives in HR and some who struggled with it. It's not easy. So I know what you had to deal with, and the fact that you still have former employees that reach out to you, that tells me all that you need to know. Yeah, that's your selling point right there. That's your selling point right there, Sean. I'm just saying, you don't need it from me.
My bio. Better let them know.
We have to, only because I have another meeting.
I know we
may have to do a mini series within your platform.
No, I was about to, you read my mind. Yes. I was about to say this. We have to keep going, because I really do want to continue educating.
We have to. It's not enough time. Right.
It's not enough time in this one short for you to get.
I agree.
my Dr. Marc Bertrand,
Oh,
everybody. I didn't even do the intro.
oh, it's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's
Listen,
okay.
this is Dr. Marc Bertrand.
It was just flowing.
Yes.
You said it in the email. You said, Dr. Mark, please give me let it flow. I'm like, no, she doesn't know. I wanted to flow. I just had to put my disclaimer. We gonna flow. And
Yes.
it's obvious. It is so organic. So we have to continue it, which I have no objection to. And I would be remiss before we depart if I didn't say how happy I am for you. You are a rarity in terms of individuals who happen to see and realize their self-worth at the highest level and can able to step away and do something. You're a mom, you're a professional, you're a community ambassador. I mean, it's a very compelling story that you have within yourself. So that's why I sit on LinkedIn to you. I say, hey, listen, anything I can do, if you see there's an introduction or whatever, not that you may need it from me, I'm just putting it out there. But I really believe when I come across someone of your stature, it's important to build that collaboration because it's organic and there are not too many of us. So I want to be on the record now that we're speaking directly to extend that to you as needed. Please.
I am going to be in your DM on LinkedIn. You're going to see me on your page. Make sure you don't know who you just said that to.
And use our online forum, Sharp, please. There's so many people in there. And I wouldn't just say that for anyone. Let me just tell you that right now. I'm sure I'm very selective, but I know your story. I know your character, and knowing the origin through Carl and what he's accomplished and so forth. Yeah. So it's important to me when I see someone of your disposition.
Thank you.
Got a game plan. I'm so happy.
I'm trying. I'm happy for you. I'm glad we reconnected.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for one of the most amazing conversations.
Likewise.
I can't wait to share this with my life warriors.
Likewise.
Everyone, you can find Dr. Marc Bertrand. This company's called the Bertrand Education Group.
Thank you.
Right? Are you based in New York City?
Yep, but we're global now. I'm all over. So
I see you. I know you're traveling. You were like, get on the calendar this week. He's a busy guy. No. But I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. The success is not you are so passionate about what you do that I am pretty sure. I know when people get wind of this conversation and just seeing your passion for your work, you're going to grow tremendously, even bigger than you even thought.
I appreciate that. I'm a lifelong learner, Shar. I'm always looking for growth. I'm always looking for growth. I'll just quote my guy, Fat Joe, who said, yesterday's price is not today's price. And that literally is me. I just want you to know, okay? It's like a stock that's continued to go up, an upward trajectory. But before I let you go, I have to ask, I would be remiss as a clinician and practitioner, how are your kids doing? School is getting ready to open. Everything is good. They're ready to go.
Dr. Marc Bertrand, let me tell you, my baby is 18. So she's finished high school and my oldest one is 24. Okay. So
you got to let me know, where's the water at? Who's got it patent?
I'm not sure.
I know what you've been drinking for all these years. I'm buying into that company. Okay? The cat's out the bag, Sean. I'm letting you know right now.
I'm happy for them. This is the baby in my hand, the little doggy.
Awesome.
So I don't know what's going on with school anymore. I'm so happy.
They've got their independence.
They're independent. It's a wrap for me. I see this is why I can do this now. I'm like, I'm gonna just have some conversations.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
And everyone, how are you? You have a little one.
I have a little one, and she's getting ready to start first grade. I'm on the parent advisory. Yes, she didn't miss much of school last year. To be honest with you, her school they probably had 1 day or 2 days off a month virtual. Yeah, so they were. Yeah.
Nice.
So and I'm involved with the Parent Advisory Council for that.
Of course you are.
I got to make sure that she knows that. Listen, I'm watching. I'm here. Because she looks so like she always does this to me, like Robert De Niro from Meet the Parents. I'm like, I'm watching you.
You're on the council. My God.
You're late. There's nothing like as being a parent. It just does something to you, and as it should for all parents. And when I look at my daughter, I say to her, you're the future. And I remember driving down certain roles. I said, I don't want you to just be the CEO. I want you to also possibly position yourself to own the land, own the infrastructure. Get her thinking early about that. So seeing her going through this process, and it's not easy for us, because they're challenged. Girls are tough. But I like that. Privately, I like that. Because you need that grit. You need that grit. And you have her. So I'm preaching. I sort of look like
My 18-year-old decided she's not going to college, but what she did was she started a business. She has her own online business right now. She already figured it out. She's like, Mommy, I'm going to college. Her sister went, and she's like, I don't really see what did she gain?
Right.
So she's like, no, I'm trying to run a business. I'm going to do this thing. So she's so like strong-minded, and she's like going for it.
And you have to teach them that entrepreneurship, that business approach, because a lot of people, they're like this, 9 to 5.
9 to 5, paycheck.
That's it. That's that comfort zone.
And then living paycheck by paycheck, by the way.
Don't get me started. That'll be for the next conversation. Shaw, it was a pleasure.
It was such
We're going to do it again.
We have to do this again. I enjoyed this. So
Likewise.
good to meet you.
Likewise.
Keep going.
I am. And you do the same. You know how to reach me. We will follow up. Enjoy your weekend. My best to your family, and stay healthy and safe. All right, Shaw?
You too. We'll
talk again. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, my life warriors. Wasn't that the most amazing, informative conversation you've ever heard? I did not get to do my intro for Dr. Marc Bertrand because when he came on, I haven't seen him in so long. We just jumped right into the conversation, and it just was like flowing. So I kind of hit the record button while we were in the midst of the conversation. So that's what happened. So I didn't do my typical Dear Life Warrior intro, but I wanted you to know now. That was the incredible Dr. Marc Bertrand. He is the senior executive. He's also the owner and founder of his business, which is the Bertrand Education Group. You could find him at the BertrandEducationGroup.com. He's also on LinkedIn. He does a lot of amazing work in the community as well in the leadership space. Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Marc, for that conversation. Let's keep it going. I can't wait to connect with him again because, quite honestly, my life warriors, that's what this is all about. We want to bring you information. We want to bring you empowerment. We want to motivate you. We want to show you that there is more to life than going from job to job. There's more to life. There is absolutely more to life. And for the organizations and the leaders in the organizations, you can run a very successful business. You can run a successful department. You can do it all. You can absolutely turn your position into your own little entrepreneurship. Yes, you heard me. Become an entrepreneur in your role. Become an entrepreneur in your role. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode because I sure did. And until we meet again, my life warriors, it's your girl Shar. And do know there is a coach out here that loves